Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on Montana This Morning. I'm Augusta McDonald.
And I'm Louis Storch. Hope you're having a great start to your Thursday. Man, Augusta, I've been trying to think of some interesting topics to talk about coming up in the morning here because the weather, there's just not a lot happening there. I mean, you could just like copy and paste every single day, and that'd be about it for the next 7 to 10 days.
A lot of these like chilly, kind of sunny conditions going on.
Yeah, really cold out there this morning. In places like Hamilton was at about 12 degrees just a couple minutes ago.
Ouch.
So you're seeing cold temperatures, and this is what we're going to see all through next week with this high pressure overhead. It's just going to be cold in the mornings, then we're going to get a little bit of sunshine, some fog developing, and that's going to last, like I mentioned, all throughout next week. And we're also going to see the stagnant weather pattern actually kind of contribute possibly to some poor air quality. And we're going to have to be talking about that as we roll throughout the morning here too, because that looks like that's going to really start to build up as we move into the weekend and into next week. Here's some of your Thursday forecasted high temperatures. It's going to be chilly out there with 30 in Missoula, mostly sunny skies, 27 in Kalispell and Polson, 32 in Hamilton. It was about 27 right now in Kalispell. So whatever your temperature right now is, if you're in Kalispell, that's going to be the high for today, as we are going to see chilly temperatures across western Montana.
Alrighty, thank you, Louis. Missoula County coverage this morning. Protesters upset over the Republicans' tax plan gathered Wednesday afternoon at the steps of the Missoula County Courthouse. MTN's Kent Lutzen was at the rally and has a response from Senator Jon Tester and Steve Daines on their concerns with the GOP tax plan.
Tax the rich, not the poor. We won't take it anymore.
It truly is a nonpartisan issue. This goes far beyond identity politics. It goes beyond progressives, conservatives, Democrats, Republicans. I mean, this is a bill that has an impact on millions of Americans.
Democratic Senator Jon Tester says he is still sorting through the nearly 500-page tax bill almost a week since the Senate voted. He said from what he knows now, the plan would add $1.5 trillion to the national debt, and the brunt of the bill would fall on working families, adding there was no effort from the other side of the political aisle to receive bipartisan buy-in.
They never gathered public input. They never tried to get bipartisan support. They never listened to folks on what could work and what wouldn't work. They just put out a bill and literally drafted it a few hours before we were to vote on it.
However, Republican Senator Steve Daines said the process has spread over the span of years, adding the approach was open and transparent.
This is a bill that had literally years of hearings. There have been 70 hearings in the Senate Finance Committee regarding the tax code, how it can be improved, how it can be streamlined to work better for all Americans.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, tax reform has come.
Daines said he voted yes on the bill because he was able to secure billions of dollars from Main Street businesses in Montana and across the states. Now, the Senate bill still needs to be reconciled with the House version before it goes to the president's desk. Reporting in Missoula, Kent Lutzen, MTN News.
At some point, it will be up to Representative Greg Gianforte to cast a vote on the fate of this bill, and President Trump hopes to sign it by Christmas. Crime news this morning, a Kalispell man previously convicted of immoral and indecent acts against a child now faces a new rape charge against a 10-year-old. 45-year-old Chad Holm pled not guilty to raping a minor in Flathead County District Court. Prosecutors say in court documents that Holm sexually assaulted the girl on multiple occasions since 2016. Holm faces up to 100 years in prison if convicted. And the Sanders County Sheriff's Office has released the names of 3 involved in a shooting that killed 2 people and injured 1 in late November. Deputies were called to a residence on Hope Valley Road on November 25th for reports that 2 people had been shot. Sheriff Tom Rummel says that 64-year-old William Tyree was found dead on scene of a self-inflicted gunshot wound and is suspected to have shot and killed an adult female whose name was not released. 83-year-old Charles Moore was shot in the shoulder and was transported to St. Patrick Hospital in Missoula, but is expected to recover. Rummel says the incident stemmed from a heated argument between Tyree and Moore when it escalated, leading to the shootings. And a high-speed pursuit through western Montana yesterday ended in shots exchanged with police. I was on scene north of St. Ignatius. The pursuit ended on Eagle Pass Trail with an exchange of gunfire between law enforcement and 2 suspects who were taken into custody. According to Lake County Sheriff Don Bell, the chase began about noon in a North Missoula neighborhood where police attempted to pull over a black Ford Taurus that had been driving recklessly. Bell says the vehicle fled through Missoula heading west before driving onto Highway 93 north and reaching speeds up to 90 miles per hour. Missoula County Sheriff's officials terminated the pursuit near Arlee and requested assistance from Flathead Tribal Police and the Lake County Sheriff's Office to deploy stop sticks. Sheriff Bell says the pursuit continued and the vehicle turned east several miles north of St. Ignatius onto Eagle Pass Trail, a gravel road. This is where Bell says the driver presented a pistol and fired at officers who shot back when the vehicle stopped in the Nine Pipes area. 2 female suspects surrendered and were taken into custody. Reporting north of St. Ignatius, I'm Augusta McDonald for MTN News. We do not yet know the identities of the 2 women who were taken into custody and are now being held in the Lake County Jail. We'll have more information on this as it becomes available. And in top stories this morning, President Trump fulfilled a campaign promise and officially recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The move is popular with the president's evangelical base, but faces criticism around the globe. President Trump reversed decades of U.S. policy recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The president says he's starting the multi-year process of moving the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem and asking the region to show restraint. Jerusalem is Israel's holiest city, but also home to one of Islam's holiest sites, and the Palestinians want East Jerusalem as their own capital.
This is a long overdue step to advance the peace process and to work towards a lasting agreement.
Protests have already started in the West Bank and Gaza. The UN Security Council has started an emergency meeting for Friday. Some Palestinian groups have called for a day of rage protests on Friday, their holy day. And Senator Al Franken is expected to make a major announcement today. The Minnesota Democrat is being pressured by more than half of his fellow Democrats to resign after more women came forward with allegations of inappropriate behavior yesterday. Hannah Doba has the latest from New York.
Support for Senator Al Franken is shrinking after new allegations of sexual misconduct.
We need to draw a line in the sand and say none of it is okay, none of it is acceptable, and we as elected leaders should absolutely be held to a higher standard.
CBS News has learned Senator Franken will make a major announcement about his future from the Senate floor today. On Wednesday, Franken's office said he hasn't made a final decision on whether he will stay or go, tweeting in part, "Senator Franken is talking with his family at this time." Earlier in the day, Politico reported a former Democratic staffer said Franken tried to forcibly kiss her after a taping of his radio show in 2006, insisting it's my right as an entertainer. The 2-term senator called that categorically not true.
If he doesn't have that support, it's going to be very difficult for him to stay.
If Franken does resign, Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton would then appoint a 10-month replacement, and the Senate seat would be up for grabs in the 2018 election. Hannah Doba, CBS News.
These latest allegations bring the total number of women alleging misconduct by Franken to at least 8. Other top stories, powerful winds are kicking up in Southern California, where firefighters are battling several wildfires burning out of control. Windy and dry conditions fueled a new fire in the Los Angeles area Wednesday, then engulfed several homes in Bel Air. Fire officials expect wind gusts as high as 80 miles per hour today, which could create unprecedented fire danger. And firefighters across western Montana are en route to help Southern California fight those wildfires. Evergreen Fire Rescue and Whitefish firefighters are mobilizing with other fire departments in the state to head to California. Missoula Fire Department Chief Jason Deal tells MTN News that 7 firefighters, a strike team leader, and 2 engines left Missoula Wednesday afternoon for Chino, California. Deal tells us that California officials have requested 50 strike teams from Montana and 60 other states. Each strike team has 5 engines for a total of 250. Missoula Rural Fire District is sending a Type 1 engine along with 3 firefighters. And some cold days but sunny this week in western Montana. We're already seeing indicators of stagnant air conditions developing as we end the week. While persistent light winds have been helping out the last couple days, yesterday morning you could see the haze starting to build as high pressure strengthens over the region. Here's some footage of our inversion. And joining us now in the Weather Center, meteorologist Louis Storch. Louis.
All right, thank you, Augusta. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, that's what we're going to start to see, really. We started to see a little bit yesterday. That's just going to continue, and I'll better explain that. I have a graphic that I want to show for you here in just a minute that'll kind of help better explain what's going on with our weather. First, though, let's talk about a few pictures. This was sent in to us by Jean and Debbie down in Corvallis. What a beautiful photo right here. Gene, Debbie, thank you so much for this one. And then have another one sent into us by Eric. This was Lake Como, a beautiful winter scene a couple days ago. So Eric, thank you for this one. Gene, Debbie, thank you so much, everyone, for the pictures. And we'll continue to show these as we move throughout the morning. Very cold in areas. 12 in Hamilton, 11 right now in Sula, 9 in Phillipsburg, 18 in Missoula, Seeley Lake, 6 over here in Butte. Notice where we have the cloud cover though. That's Polson, Kalispell, Troy, upper 20s and lower 30s, and these are pretty much going to be your high temperatures for today. 18 in Thompson Falls, 18 also in St. Regis. How about this map? This is pretty impressive here. So this is our water vapor imagery, and you can really see the big ridge of high pressure in dry weather just staying stationary over the western part of the U.S. These colors here, these are the clouds. The pink, that's some moisture mixed in with the clouds. Notice as it's traveling off to the east, it's hitting this high pressure ridge and it's going up and over. And so that's why we're going to stay so dry. That's why we have these devastating fire conditions in California. No moisture is on the way, at least for the next several days, as the moisture's trying to get there, but it's hitting this ridge and it's just going up and over the top. What we need to happen is for this to break down, and that's when we'll start to get more storms moving on shore, but it looks like we're going to have to wait until next weekend for that sort of activity to start occurring. So this is what we're watching this week. We're going to be hearing the word inversion a lot. So what does this mean? Well, high pressure overhead, like we just talked about, sunny skies, warmer temperatures in the higher atmosphere. Now this warmer air aloft, it actually acts kind of as a, we'll say a cap. So it keeps that cooler air at the surface of the earth, fog, cold temperatures, also any pollutants that build up is trapped there. Notice though the higher elevations like the mountains, you get above that inversion layer and you're going to see warmer air. So that's why we're expecting those valleys to stay cold, and the higher up you go, temperatures could actually be above average for the next several days. Here's a 7-day forecast for Missoula. Not a lot happening like we talked about, 30s and upper 20s for the next 7 days. Same thing for Kalispell with fog developing, and we're going to see Hamilton temperatures in the 30s through Friday, and then we'll see highs in the 20s for the weekend.
Alrighty, thank you, Lewis. That weather vapor graphic was really helpful. I haven't seen that one yet, where you can see the moisture just jumping right over the west coast.
Yeah, that water vapor, and it's just stationary. It's not moving. So once we can break that down, you can see how we'll allow those storms to start moving on shore. But like I mentioned, let's wait until next weekend really for that to start happening.
All right, thank you, Lewis. We'll be right back after this break.